Today, I have chosen a very beautiful topic for the podcast, and the topic is finding joy inside of you. So, as per the common notions of the society, we really think that joy is in having more materialism, maybe joy is in having more friends or people around us to take care of us. Joy is in other people, maybe in luxury, maybe in vanity and traveling. All these things that are outside of us are actually providing us just a fleeting moment of joy. In the moment, you can feel on the top of the world, but when it ends, then you start feeling inside of yourself, well, I have done everything. I have tried to have more money. I have tried to make more friends. I have tried everything that I could. But then why am I not happy? And where exactly is my joy? So, in this episode, I'm going to narrate a beautiful story, and I hope that the story gives you an idea of where exactly your joy is, and it gives you a hope, and it restores your faith that not everything is lost. So let's dive into the story. Let's begin. So, this is the story of a woman who embarks on this beautiful journey called life in order to find her real joy and search for joy and happiness. So she sort of travels throughout the world. She meets new people. She immerses herself in new experiences. She gives herself a lot of luxury. She wears these beautiful clothes, and she's always sort of a perfectionist diva. But after some time, once she is sort of out of the moment, she realizes that she's not happy and something is missing in her life. So she then sort of tries to find her joy in nature. She goes to the nature, she goes to the mountains, she goes to a desert, she goes to a river, she goes everywhere where she could. And she sort of keeps searching for her joy outside. After traveling everywhere and doing everything that she could, she finally gets really exhausted in the process of finding joy, and she decides that, okay, I think I have found my joy, and I think that joy is really in doing more, and really in traveling to more places, and really in meeting more people. So now I think that is joy, and let me now head back home. Let me go back home. I have found my joy. So while she was coming back to her home, she noticed a kid, a small kid, 7 to 10 years old, might be, and she noticed him that he was flying a kite. She stopped there for a moment, and she kept noticing the child, and she notices that as the kite flies higher and higher, this kid starts to like jump and was almost filled with a lot of excitement and was very much thrilled. And the more the height the kite soars, the kid got really excited. So she kept witnessing all of this. And once the kite came down, the kid's excitement sort of falls down with falling of the kite. So in that moment, something clicks in this woman's mind. She witnessed that while the kid was flying the kite, and while the kid must have imagined that the kite was the source of his happiness in that moment. He forgot that the real happiness was coming from inside of him, that was then being reflected onto his flying the kite. In a simple way, the kite had sort of become this embodiment of his joy in the moment. The kite and the kid were not separate in the moment. They were in union with each other. They reflected each other. So when we think that our outside reality is affecting us, and when we start to find our real happiness from outside of us, there is the biggest mistake that we commit. In that moment is the biggest mistake that we make, that we give uh, the source of our happiness that is actually inside of us to the outside world. And we imagine that we sort of perceive and we sort of create this notion that our joy is coming from outside. However, the opposite is true. Once your inner state is happy, once your inner state is calm and relaxed and still, then what you will see is the fact that it will exactly reflect upon the outside world, and you will start to observe the same stillness and peace in everything you are witnessing outside, because it's all about your perception and it's all about how you are feeling inside. We do not let the outside world dictate our inner feelings, rather, we make our inner feelings dictate the outside world. So, coming back to the woman sort of realizes that her joy was always within herself, and she gets really surprised and she starts thinking, oh my god, what a big mistake I have made. I was searching for my joy, my inner happiness in the outside world, while I was carrying that throughout this time within myself. So that marks the end of the story. And in the end, I would really want to emphasize on the fact, stop finding your happiness outside of yourself. Of course, make goals and accomplish those goals, but do not commit the mistake of basing your happiness on the success of those goals. Because if you will do everything for materialism, if you will do everything for commercialism, if you will do everything for fame, instant fame, social media fame, how are you going to exactly realize that there are things that you can simply do for yourself, which we also put in a wider, broader term of having a hobby? So, why not start to create and cultivate something in your life that is away from how the outside world is trying to sort of dictate that? Because once you have gone through the process, once you have found that joy inside of yourself, there is nothing outside of you that is going to influence your inner state. You will become so grounded and rooted in your practice, in your work, in your mission, that no matter what chaos the world is going through, you and your internal state cannot be moved. That is the kind of stillness and groundedness that we are looking for. That is the kind of joy that we are looking for. So, my friends, stop looking for joy outside. Rather, turn inwards first. Turn inwards first. Be still, and then let your stillness rule the outside reality. So, I hope you have enjoyed this episode and would like to end the episode by reciting a quote by Rumi that says, "When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy." Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon in another episode. Have a beautiful day ahead.